Fight tooth and nail to get to the best shape of your life. Work super fucking hard for 12 to 16 weeks. Like, put all the stops out. Cut out the junk, go to bed early, train like fuck, follow the diet, say no to shit, become the man that you need to become. Get to the end result. What happens next? Boys, this is a very important video. One that I want you to watch and understand that, like, I have your best interest in mind, that when you get to this end point, I have a plan for you already in place, and the guys that got to this point know it, because it's very important that when we get to this point, we don't fuck it up. There would be nothing more painful than getting into really good shape and then fucking it up. We as human beings would rather not have something than have it and then lose it. The fear of loss for human beings is just so fucking drastic that we would avoid that at all costs, and that is really what this video is going to be for. Of course, you'll literally get it live from me anyway, but I want you to already have the mind frame of what's going to happen next when I reach the end of the transformation. So this video is how to stay lean when you get lean. Because as I just said, imagine how fucking painful that would be. You got in the best shape of your life. People are complimenting you. You can see abs running across your veins. Your fucking partner likes you for it. You get more fucking birds if you're single. And then just a few weeks later, abs have gone, look soft, look fucking garbage. Imagine what that's going to do to your fucking mental health. Not the best of things, is it? And so many people are renowned for getting in good shape and then just fucking it up after and say, it's not sustainable to hold this level of body fat. And like, oh yeah, it looks good for a picture. That's because they don't know what we know. What we know is how to get lean, stay lean, progress into the gaining phase, and turn into an even bigger fucking superhuman than you're going to be at the end of the transformation. So why people can't get in shape, why people can't stay lean when they get lean, they just don't know fucking how to. They're stupid and they think, oh, well, I'm not on plan anymore and I need to go into a building phase, so I'll just stick my calories right back up through the roof. Do you honestly think the body can handle that much food being given to it at once and use it correctly in the form of glycogen in the muscle to drive performance in the gym and then recover from the session to build tissue? Of course it can't. People just stuff the face with so much fucking food, it just gets stored as water and then subsequently body fat. So that's why they just don't have the know-how to do it. And even if they did, it's actually quite hard to execute. I've just finished it myself. I've got Tony that you'll know, he's going into his third week of it, executing it literally to the T. It's hard to do because it's almost like you are dieting still, but you have more room for food. You have the option to have an off-plan meal, but it's still challenging. And the average dork that doesn't have someone by his side to support him through this will probably crumble at this point. And that's why it's important that we have each other in the corner, that I can pull you through to the end of this. Really, like, the end actually comes when you get back to that point of maintenance, as opposed to like when you're a newborn child and you've literally just finished the transformations. The next point is your hormones are everywhere. So you've got leptin, ghrelin, and let's say insulin. So those three hormones essentially determine when you're hungry and when you're full. And they're fucked when you've done a diet because you've tactically starved yourself to get down to that lean level of body fat, to put it bluntly. So the feeling of fullness doesn't really get satisfied that as soon as you put the calories up slightly. It takes a few weeks. But if I didn't sit down and tell you, you're still going to be hungry this week, but it's okay, it's going to be a little bit less, and next week you're going to be a little bit less hungry than you were this week, you at least could frame your mind and know the end is in sight of that feeling inside your stomach. When I didn't have anyone coaching me and I did my first photo shoot and I got lean as fuck, I went to Thailand after, and that feeling would not go away for about 2 weeks. I went down the food markets, I was eating everything, all day, every way. And the only way I could stop eating was when I felt like sick and bloated. Because when I was full, I was still eating because the signal in my brain was just fucked. I was just so hungry. So it's very, very, very important that we manage that with you. And then if you think about that, a little quick win we could do straight away with the diet is, well, how do we make the diet more voluminous? Because this feeling is not going away. Okay, well, we can add watermelon, we can add more frozen fruit, we can add more veg, and that will pack it out. And they can't do it because they've been deprived of, when I say food, I mean like nice food. I mean like any food you want to eat out. They've been deprived of that food. So now when the reins are slightly off because they've got to the goal point, very, very hard. Like, I live in Mexico now, and as I walk up and down the main strip, there's so much fucking temptation. And I just, even though I'd finished the diet, I had to still dig deeper and train that muscle of discipline that I will speak to you about. To just be like, nah, this is just in my head. It's just a feeling. It'll go away soon. Don't go and get fucking ice cream. So, and without someone in your corner, I can really see why. Stack these three things together. Fucking right, people aren't going to be able to keep the shape they worked so hard to get for. Of course they can't. It's hard shit to do. There's a lot to balance and a lot of discipline. And knowing that you're putting the discipline into the right point anyway is quite tough. It is. So I understand why people fuck it up. So what we need to do is, as always, we need our North Star. We need to set the goal. What are we trying to achieve here? When we're a newborn again child, just finished the transformation, fucking hungry as fuck, want to go and eat the world, and in the best shape of our life. What we need to do then is set the goal. You will be in a form of calorie deficit, and that will have a certain amount of calories. Your maintenance, by the way, relative to your new body composition, which would be the scale weight that we pulled you down to and the body fat percentage, we would then need to work out what is your maintenance target. And we need to take you from where you are here in deficit to maintenance. But it needs to be done in a smart manner. We need to set the goal. Okay, I need to be eating this much food, but I also still want to be this level of body fat. And you can have both. You can maintain that condition you work so hard for, and that's the whole purpose of this video, and be eating maintenance food, the feeling of hunger gone away, and essentially back to living normal life and ready to transition into that gaining phase that we're all ready for, to go and secure more tissue and essentially continue building this fucking beautiful physique you've just worked so hard for. So we need to set the goal. Okay, we need to be 10% body fat and eating this much amount of food. Now we need to bridge the gap between where we were today and where this is now, and what that looks like is here. So we're going to set the process. So I will always obviously do this for you, and I'll tell you a week out before you finish what that's going to look and feel like, so that you can at least plan your shopping, know how many calories you're on, know you can have one off-plan meal, and we take it from there. So let's roll into this now. So when we are reversing out of a diet, we need to understand, firstly, make one change at one time. Do not change absolutely everything, because it will fuck things up. Add food around the workout first. Why do I say that? Drive performance in the gym. It's all about driving. That's what the food is for, to drive the performance in the gym. You may have found that towards the back end of the transformation, you were fighting tooth and nail to lift loads that you were lifting 2 to 3 weeks ago because you start to plateau out with the training. We now want to take that and increase it, and we're going to do that with food before the gym and after the gym. And this is going to come in the form of carbohydrates. Add food around the meals, no change, and decrease the scale weight. The food will be increased. So the first change will come from carbs, then it'll come from carbs and protein, and then after that it'll come from fats. So your initial step, if you were on 2,166 calories, we're going to increase by 300 calories. Now, just for context, remember, we need to go from 2,166 to 366. So that's a good bloody deficit this guy's in, and we need to climb this back up. Yours may not be as big, but a reverse should take around 4 weeks. So for easy numbers, take the difference in the deficit and divide it by 4, because you're going to level up like that, as follows. So step 1, nutrition. Added 300 calories in the form of carbohydrates. I think that's 75 off the top of my head. And the cardio can be pulled down slightly, so reduced to 20 minutes times 5. If you were on, let's say, a lot of you would be on like 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes, maybe 60, some at 30. So you're going to take 2 days off and pull the time down to 20 minutes. And eventually that time's going to come all the way down to probably 3 times 20 minutes. So if you weren't on that much cardio to begin with, we'll go probably straight for that. because we want to keep that heart health going as you go into the gaining phase and the maintenance phase anyway. So it's important we do keep that, but we need to bring it down, because there'd be no point running loads of cardio if we then, there'd be no point increasing loads of food if we're still running cardio, because you'd just be burning through it anyway. Assess the training from the logbook for the week. Did we increase lifts across the board? If we did, then potentially we can run the plan again. We don't need to rush adding the food up, but if a good telltale sign is, what did the scale weight do? When Tony went through this, the scale weight actually still went down, so that was a key combat indicator to add more food again. If the scale weight increases, because we're looking for, on a week basis, no more than half a kilo really, depends on the size of you. Some of you are like big guys and some of you are smaller guys, so let's say anywhere from like 0.3 to 0.6 is the window that we'd be looking for on a weekly basis. And if we're hitting that, numbers going up in the gym, we could hold out, just to be a little bit more conservative, 1 extra week. But again, if the deficit was so great, we need to up that. We need to up that food, because we need to close that gap. So we moved to step 2, where we needed to increase the food. So 2466 to 2766, increase carbs and also protein. Reason for protein, it's going to keep you more satiated. It's pretty much the most satiating macronutrient. Whereas fat kind of does the opposite. You eat fat, you want fucking more of it. If I give you dark chocolate, you want more fucking dark chocolate. Same with peanut butter. If I give you more protein, it just takes more to chew through it. It takes longer to digest the thermic effect of food, all that good stuff. So it will serve you to have that. And then cardio will stay the same. But again, we're always looking to tailor the cardio down. So we did this again, we ran it for the next week, and funnily enough, the numbers still went up in the gym, but the scale weight was still dipping down, which meant we still needed to increase. So we moved on to week 3, or phase 3, where again, we added another 300 calories and kept cardio at the same. And then what we would do here is try and sit at this for a week or two, let the scale weight stabilize, and that from there we'll be pushing on into the gaining phase. And the way you really structure a gaining phase is going to be the same as this from step 1. How are the numbers going in the gym? Increasing, decreasing, staying the same. How is the scale weight trending? And off those two figures, that is when you make the decision, do I need more food or am I just being greedy? If the numbers are going up in the gym, you don't really need more food, because what you're eating is enough to drive performance, to build tissue, success. Ideally, if we can get that from less, brilliant, because there will be a point in a few months' time where you will be sick of eating. So enjoy that now, and really don't make that target as high as it has to be. Because again, if it's not being used to drive performance in the gym, where's it going? Back around that midsection, holding body fat, not giving you a look that you want it to look. So they're the things we need to think about. Likewise, if the scale weight is flatline, numbers are merely going up, that's a good sign. Increase food, probably in the form of carbohydrates. If you're really struggling, maybe in the form of fats, and then continue to do that across the building phase. And that is literally how we will run the reverse diet for you. Obviously, this will be done structured to your specific macros, so you get to the goal. And the side goal is to level out the hormones. So it's to have normal levels of hunger, to feel full when we should feel full, and not to feel so hungry all the fucking time. So that will be the main driving factor on the side, as well as that. And then, of course, you're allowed that off-plan meal. Now we're transitioning into normal life. You're going to want to go out for a meal maybe at least once a week. That's okay. But we still make it structured. What does that look like? Heavily on the protein. Go for good quality protein meals. Get your steaks. Get your fucking plenty of chicken in. Go for chicken wings. And Nando's wouldn't be that bad if you didn't get loads of fucking chips and shit. Although Nando's quite calorific. So just still try and keep it within the calories, of course. But you are allowed that off-plan meal. And again, this is what we work together for, so you can have that. And I guess in a dieting phase, it's really, we send that so we can stay on plan and make progress. In a reverse phase, in a gaining phase, that would probably be more, it will happen more often because you'll be doing it more often, so we'll be leaning in on each other to get that sorted anyway. But likewise, you'd have probably had more understanding of how to do this going through the dieting phase anyway. So boys, that is how you're gonna get lean and stay lean and enjoy the fucking work that you work so hard for. Nothing more painful than just fucking it up once you've got to that lean stage. I know it. Guess what I had to do? Another mini cut before I went into a gaining phase. You don't want to do that, just waste time. You want to get as fucking big as possible, as quick as possible. That was always the goal. So I hope this was useful. If it was, Good, and I'll see you in the next one.